Megan here, your favorite real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas. I wanted to do a video introducing myself and pretty much telling you where I came from. So here it goes. So my full name is Megan Mason Jungmann, and I didn't start out Megan Mason Jungmann. I started out as Megan Corey Mason in Austin, Texas. I was born to Fred and Peggy Mason, and I have 3 sisters, Tony, Gina, and Margot. Yes, we are a family of all girls, so my dad was delighted. No, he had a lot of fun. Going through grade school, I didn't have the greatest time. In the 3rd grade, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. And if you don't know what that is, it's a learning disability, and it pretty much, I had an issue with comprehension. So I would read something and I wouldn't understand what I was reading. I'm still not the fastest reader, but I can more so understand what I'm reading without having to read it 10 million times. I have overcome most of my dyslexia, but I do still have some areas where I'll insert letters into words and it makes a whole different word, or I'll read one word before another, or everything just looks backwards. So that's kind of what my dyslexia is, and I say that because there's multiple different kinds of dyslexia. Some people see words dancing off the page. Some people see letters backwards, or words in different shapes, or there's just a whole bunch of different types of dyslexia. So as I mentioned, I have 3 sisters, Tony, Gina, and Margot. They all have their own family, and I have 8 nieces and nephews. So I was an aunt at 12, and it was just an amazing experience, and it gave me a lot of practice for whenever I start my own family. So when I was 18, I started my first job at a rehabilitation hospital called Texas Neuro Rehab Center in Austin. And I had 2 jobs there. I first was in EVS, which is essentially a janitor. I would go in at 7 in the morning on Saturdays and Sundays, and I would be done by 3, but I would really just be going around emptying trash cans and mopping the floor, and it was a really good experience for me for my first real job experience. My second job there, I was a rehab tech, and I mainly worked with children, and I loved it so much. I had to resign for certain reasons, but I really loved my experience there. The next several jobs, I was a server at a lot of restaurants. I think I was in the service industry for roughly 10 years off and on, and I wouldn't change that for the world. Eventually I realized I didn't want to be on my feet all day every day, so I decided to get my first desk job. It was at a call center in San Marcos. I wanted to get out of Austin. I was tired of the traffic and I just wanted something different. So I went to a call center in San Marcos, and I really got to learn how to work at a desk and manage my own time, and really talking to people over the phone. It's definitely a different experience than talking to someone in person, since you aren't able to actually see the person and give those facial expressions and how I'm doing these hand gestures and everything. So your personality has to come out through your voice, and that's really where I learned that initially. My next office job, I went back to Austin because I was about to get married and wanted to save some money. So I worked at a company that did a sales tax preparing for telecommunications companies. I know that sounds really complicated, and you think, oh, it's just a tax preparing agency. They only work a little bit of part of the year. Well, that's really not true. So you're going to AT&T or whatever carrier you are using, and you buy a phone. Well, they have to pay sales tax to the county or the city on that sale. So that's what we did we paid monthly sales tax for these telecommunications companies. And I really loved that job, but I moved back to New Braunfels and it was about an hour-and-a-half drive one way. That started to weigh on me. I had to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning, leave at 6 to get there at 7:30. So it was a really hard day. I did that for about a year, and if I was still in Austin, I'd probably still be there. After that, I realized I didn't want to be on my feet all day being a server. I didn't want to sit at a desk all day, every single day. I was gaining weight, I wasn't moving, I wasn't exercising. Also, my day was really long, so I was tired by the time I got home. So I tried to find something that I could be up and around moving, but also have that desk experience as well. And I figured real estate was kind of the perfect combination of that. So one fact, people don't usually dream about being a real estate agent. It's typically a fallback position, but once you're in real estate and you love what you do, it really doesn't feel like a job anymore. It is difficult, it's hard work, but it's very rewarding. So as I mentioned, I did get married in 2014 to my husband, Russell Jungmann. So now my name is Megan Mason Jungmann. I started my real estate career in 2015, and I started with a high producing team at Keller Williams, and it was a great experience. I learned a whole lot from them. But since I was living in New Braunfels and working in the west side of San Antonio, that was about a 45-minute to an hour drive depending on traffic, and I needed to be at the office every single day at a certain time, and that was just really trying. So I decided to leave the team and work on my own. Fast forward about 5 years to 2020, and we went through a fertility process, and we now have our son who is 6 months old. His name is James Barrett, but we call him Bear. And now I actually live in a suburb of San Antonio called Bulverde, and that's where we are now. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. You can call me at 512-940-2883 if you have questions about the San Antonio real estate market, or if you are thinking about buying, selling, or renting. And I'll leave all my contact information below. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.